Champions League predictions, semi-finals. Paris Saint-Germain versus RB Leipzig. Bayern Munich versus Lyon.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions for the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Oh, Ian, it's the round of four. Doing the round of four.
The half-finals. Well, let's just hope that these semi-finals are as good as the quarter-finals were, because we had four absolutely fantastic games, full of virtually every story under the sun that you could possibly have, and we're going to go over that in just a second. As always, there are timestamps down below if you do just want to skip ahead to a certain game, and you can use the chapters feature on the YouTube video itself. But as always, just strap yourselves in and watch the whole darn video, and if you stick around to the end, Thomas may give some shout outs to people that commented on our quarter-final video. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this. Thomas, what is the first semi-final?
Semi-final the first. PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, host Racing Bull Leipzig.
Well, Thomas, from a predictions point of view, it's fair to say we didn't do a very good job with the quarter-finals. I think we only got one of the teams correct to get through. Let's hope we have a little bit of an improvement. Maybe we should split it up and just pick different teams for each one. That way we're guaranteed to get something right. But anyway, let's start with Paris Saint-Germain. Crazy game. Do you want to go into it a bit more?
Yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit, but obviously we're going to do a little bit of a different thing this week. We're going to talk about both teams before we give our predictions, because we both have thoughts on both of them. And yeah, it's good to have a conversation. So, say what Ian said last week again. Is this the year for PSG? Are they finally going to get the monkey off their back? Is the Qatari investment group finally going to get that victory that they've been spending ceaseless amounts of oil money on? We will find out, but they cannot win the easy way. Their matches are never boring. It looked like another failure until two really late goals, and it all changed with Mbappe, really. Neymar, is great when he's on the ball, but his finishing was a bit wayward in this.
I'm just going to interrupt you, because I actually thought Neymar was amazing in the game. I really did. I thought it was one of the best games I'd seen him play in a long, long time. His finishing wasn't very good, but he was the real heartbeat for PSG on that pitch, and it isn't an exaggeration to say at times it did feel like Neymar versus Atalanta.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, when Mbappe came on, everything kind of changes because just Mbappe's effect on a game is like Gareth Bale playing Inter Milan 10 years ago. I mean, it's just like he does this to every team he plays. He is unplayable. To me, he's unplayable.
Yeah.
Keylor Navas went off injured. He'll be a loss, but Verratti's not going to play at all, which is also not great in this game. Those two late goals, though, Mbappe is pretty much the what creates the whole thing twice. And he's fantastic. And this PSG side, as much as Neymar versus Atalanta is a theme, etc., it feels like Mbappe, every team he's ever played for, like Monaco, he single-handedly wins games, and not by the scruff of the neck either. It's like he floats. It's like he's floating, and they just get pulled along with him.
Yeah, his pace and his power is frightening, and it's just a question of how long they can play him for. So they could only play him for half an hour in this one. I doubt he's going to be fit enough to play the full game.
I mean, him starting to me is a real difference maker.
Yeah, absolutely. Literally, I'm not the Neymar thing. He was really good, but it did feel like when Mbappe came on, it was finally like Neymar was like, oh, thank God, there is somebody else that can actually play football on there. Because Icardi and Saliba were awful, absolutely awful. They offered nothing to this game at all, and it just looked like it was going to be another like Paris Saint-Germain bottle it in the quarterfinals.
But cometh the hour, cometh the Choupo-Moting.
Hey, unbelievable finish of the game. I mean, to get 2 goals in injury time was fantastic. And Choupo-Moting, I mean, everyone in England's going to call him a Stoke reject, aren't they? Which is really harsh because he has played quite a lot. They made it seem like Thomas Tuchel looked on the bench and didn't know who this guy was, and were like, "Where do you play? Do you play up front? All right, go on and give it a go." He has played like 30 games for them this season.
I mean, I think, really quickly, not to get off track, there's a lot of players that play for middle to lower English teams, aren't successful, and are instantly written off. And like Serge Gnabry, they tend to go on and do really well. That's right, Arsenal fans. You're middle to bottom of the table. But enough of this. Let me very quickly just say, I love this Atalanta team. 98 goals. they did really well to take the lead, but they kind of just tried to hang on. And once Mbappe came on, you just felt the game was already gone, and they scored 2 so quickly.
Yeah.
Full credit to PSG. I was wrong for not backing them in the last round. But before we get on to predictions, Ian, talk to me about the race in Berlin.
I will talk to you about the race in Berlin, but I do just want to talk about the picture of Thomas Tuchel sat on a sandwich cooler for the whole game with a broken foot. He looked.
Did you see when they tried to hug him and he literally tried to pull away and be like, no, broken foot, away.
And I just couldn't get this image out of my head of a guy from the director's box literally walking closer every minute with an envelope with his P45 in it, getting ever closer.
He's in the tunnel. He's walking up the pitch.
He's just about to touch him on the shoulder when that equaliser went in. He had to quickly scurry away. Getting on to RB Leipzig, again, really tough game for them against Atletico Madrid. It was a dull game, but that wasn't Leipzig's fault, and I'll stress that again. That isn't Leipzig's fault. Atletico Madrid, we know they can be a bit anti-football, and they certainly went into this one. Simeone, so negative the way he sets the game up. But if anything, I don't think we gave RB Leipzig enough credit in the last video. This is an excellent side. Excellent. Go on.
I'm just saying, we didn't give them a lot of credit, but that's also because we watched the entire second half of the Bundesliga. And RB Leipzig fans, tell us what you think, but it felt like a really meek ending, and it felt hard to think that they were going to come into the Champions League and be a different team. That's the only reason we did it.
Yeah, it's true, but it is, there were times still in that Bundesliga running where they did play some excellent football, and they were the side that tried to play any football at all in this one. And you forget this is still a young side, it's a young manager, and they are fun to watch. I mean, it was a great team goal that they scored. Dani Olmo got it. He's been a great signing for them. They got him in from Zagreb in from January. Just, he really good bit of business, that one. They got pegged back, and similar to PSG, Atletico Madrid looked a lot better when João Felix came on, and it looked like Atletico Madrid could be the side to go on and win it. But, and I'll let you do the shouting and hooping here, Tom, a young American got the winner for them.
From Wappinger Falls, New York, United States national, Tyler Adams! USA! 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 Take that, Christian Pulisic, there's a new boy in town!
And a lot like Choupo-Moting, this was a really good story for him. From a Leipzig point of view, they really did miss Schick. Hopefully he can come back and start in this one, although again, I doubt he is going to be fully fit to start. But yeah, just defensively as well, they stood up to the battle. We talked about how you have to go to battle with Atletico Madrid, and they did that. And, their centre-back was amazing. And I'm going to leave it to you to say again, because you can only say it with a funny northern accent, Tom.
Well, you've really got to love Upamecano.
He was immense. I mean, we've seen him be erratic in the Bundesliga, but he was absolutely immense in his performance. Easily the best I've ever seen him play. And for me, this game against PSG is an absolute coin flip. It's a real 50-50. But I'll let you do your prediction first, so I can just copy.
Yeah, I'll really quickly state that this RB Leipzig team are like Bayern Munich light to me. They are incredibly hardworking. They don't quit their game plan. And Nagelsmann, they have a manager who's not afraid to change his formation, but generally the team tactics and the way they're going to play doesn't change a lot. It's more about how are they going to switch the play and how are they going to overload the opposition teams. That's generally why I feel he changes it. Atletico Madrid offered nothing outside of João Felix, but RB Leipzig did a really good job to kind of go toe-to-toe for so long, because that's what you have to do. You can't think you're just going to get your game. And they did so well. And both of these sides, I think, like you said, we were slightly unfair on. And I think that our criticisms come from the right place. But both of them have proved they deserve to be in the semifinals. I am going to back PSG, which I don't think you're going to do, knowing you. The only reason I back PSG is there's just something about Mbappe. He wins World Cups. He can win a Champions League.
Yeah, well, it's hard to argue with that, because I mean they are the side with the two out and out world-class players, really, aren't they? With Mbappe and Neymar, that can win any game of football on any given day. But I am going to be different. I just think there's something about this RB Leipzig side. They're not an easy side to beat. They drew a lot of games in the Bundesliga, but they're not an easy side to put away. And I just think that they are just going to... I think they're going to be the side that's like a bit more adventurous in this one, and I think they're going to win it. What did you say? Did you say 2-1?
I didn't give a scoreline, but 2-1 is the scoreline.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm going to go reverse. I'm going to go 2-1 RB Leipzig.
Bayern Munich coaching Olympique Lyon.
Wonderful pronunciation there, Thomas. Remember, everybody, it is the second semi-final, but it's not a main event, because that only happens when Man United and Oxford United play. Wow. Where do we start talking about Bayern Munich? What a performance. You go for it. We
start at 8 and we end in 2. We just watched the most storied franchise that football's had from the last decade get literally picked apart. We told you it was coming. People didn't believe us. Everyone thought, it's Barcelona, they're going to do well. Forget about how badly Barcelona did. Holy hell, this Bayern Munich side are the real deal. How do you even begin to talk? I'm not even going to talk through it because there were 8 goals. It's how has Hansi Flick turned them from a team that is losing random matches and unable to keep up in the Bundesliga to easily the best team in the world?
Easily.
Steamrolled their way through that. Pick a moment you've written in the notes. That's how many there were. Mueller's pass for Gnabry's goal. The Davies run. The commentators don't want to talk about Bayern. They want to talk to you about Barcelona. They want to go, oh, PK, he should have either pressed on Davies or marked the guy. No, because the minute he presses on the fastest player on the pitch, he goes round him. And if he goes to mark the guy, the near post is then open. Davies' run is hands down one of the most sensational runs you can get. It's like, second reference, it's like the Gareth Bale run against Inter Milan. Every single time.
Like Maradona against England.
It's just, he's beaten him every time, and he knows he's beaten him, and he's so much quicker and more skillful. Coutinho gets 2 goals, tried really hard not to celebrate, but there's no one in the world who doesn't think that he was high-fiving himself and doing a dance on the inside.
Just quickly, I thought it was quite funny how you, in the last one, you reeled off every great player that Bayern Munich's got. And I think both of us completely forgot that Coutinho is even there.
Yeah. And he did great. He came on 2 goals. The first one, like that weird mistouch, but he still gets it in. He got an assist. Bayern press teams. They play a really high line. They don't give them time on the ball. And I'm not going to do this for long because you and I have promised ourselves, and we don't want to be BBC. We don't want to be BT Sport. We don't want to be Sky. We want you guys to come to us because we say something different. We're not going to talk to you about how terrible Barcelona were. But the fact they came out and thought that they could go toe-to-toe with probably the most efficient team in world football, and I get it, they're German, we're using the word efficient, but they are. They don't miss chances. And in the first 20 minutes, it was like, Barca were like, oh, we'll go toe-to-toe with you. And then Bayern Munich were like, oh, you want to do this? And just steamrollered them. They had 2 different periods of 20 minutes, either half, where they got 4 goals. And it was manhandling.
Yeah, I mean, also obviously Setien got sacked for this from Barcelona, but it's just like they didn't even look at how Bayern Munich play. It's like they just went into it and just thought, we're Barcelona, this is what we do, and like the arrogance to just continually just to try and play it out from the back, and when it's not working, it's just they deserve to take that beating because. You know, they played into Bayern Munich's hands, and it was from if you're not a fan of Barcelona, you're probably delighted that they played a team like Bayern who are just merciless and don't give up.
And the last thing we'll say is Thomas Mueller's given these interviews afterwards where he says it's better than 7-1 against Brazil. He said that was a game. He said against Brazil, you know, we counterattack and get a goal, but we weren't in control. He's like, in that game, we owned them. We owned every minute of it. We're the better team. We knew we were the better team. We knew we could beat them, and they just did it. And Lewandowski doesn't score till like goal 5 or 6, and he is the best striker on earth right now. This team is incredible. I said this to you, though. I think that they're going to be playing this match under a huge amount of pressure now. They've already made their statement. If they don't win the Champions League now, it will be considered a failure, and that Barcelona result will go down as Barca playing badly, not Bayern playing well. And in Thomas Mueller, I think they have one of the best players to play the game. They have a guy who's won World Cups, Champions League, league titles, German Cups. This guy does not take anything less than excellence. He's loud about it. It's the 90th minute, they're up 2-0, and he's screaming his teammates to move forward and press.
8-2 in this case.
Yeah, 8, sorry. You can't you can't underrate a player like that who, as we've said enough times, and go back to our Bundesliga, he just doesn't make mistakes and he always pops up. And he's one of those players that might not seem like the most skillful player on the team, but he's playing a different sport to the rest of them. When he needs to, he plays well. The rest of the time, he's just there making sure they're playing well. I love Thomas Müller. He's incredible, and I think he will get Bayern Munich up for this. But before we give our predictions, Ian,
wait, Thomas, wait. Who can beat this Bayern Munich side? Who out there in the world can beat this Bayern Munich side? Is it Manchester City? I don't think so. It's all going to come down to one man that shocked the world once again. That's right, folks. Lyon. The story that was missing from these quarterfinals was a big upset, and Lyon provided it. Man City cannot get through these quarterfinal stages in the Champions League. They fall short once again, and Lyon continues to shock the world. It was a very disciplined performance by them. Again, it's very easy to say Bayern Munich beat Barcelona by 8, so they're going to obviously beat Lyon by a cricket score, but it's going to be a completely different game. Lyon are going to be much more disciplined. Lyon are going to be able to play a lot more defensively. They've just beaten Juventus and they've just beaten Man City, so you cannot say this side is going to be a walkover or it's going to be an easy game. They relied a lot against Man City to play balls in behind them and rely on their pace to run in behind with like Memphis Depay and Cornet and things like that, and it really worked well for them. We've seen in the Premier League, City like to shoot themselves in the foot at the back, and they have these games where they just make mistakes, and that's what Lyon preyed on, and that's what worked for them. They were very clinical. The first goal was a really good finish by Cornet. I don't think the second goal should have stood. You've seen it as well.
No way the second goal should stand. He's clearly offside. He dominates the ball, and the player that does get the ball has just knocked over Laporte in the first place. Yeah, it's a tangle of legs, but it feels like there's possibly 2 infringements, not just 1. But let's not turn this into the bar show. No one knows why, but they're up 2-1 at this point. What happens then, though?
Yeah, obviously Raheem Sterling misses one of the easiest chances ever, and I'm sure resident expert and Manchester United fan Thomas Pickering was rubbing his hands with glee at this point during the game. But yeah, and virtually straight after that, Ederson makes a mistake. Dembele taps it in again. 2 goals off the bench for him. That was a really good performance. And they complete the shock. They complete the big shock, going through to play Bayern Munich. It's going to be difficult. They've had to ride their luck. Obviously, they had to ride their luck against Juve and against City, but you just cannot see. At some point, that's going to run out, isn't it? And you just can't see. You cannot see Bayern Munich losing this game.
Here is how I see this, right? Lyon have done a fantastic job, and I'm putting my hand up now and apologizing for not picking them to win more games.
I'll put my hand up for that as well, because both of us didn't. We were probably a little bit disrespectful to Lyon in the last year, I think.
They, as bad as they've been in France, and they have not been a good side this year, they have a game plan, and they have the same game plan every time. They don't mind if they don't possess it all the time, because they can counterattack, and they have really clinical, good players to counterattack with. And even when those players aren't great, there's the pace. You saw it in the first goal, over the top, takes a terrible touch, and then the defender gets him. But Cornet's coming in, and he just has to curl it in. All he has to do is put any whip on the ball. There's no way Ederson gets to it, and he does that. Lyon deserve all the respect in the world. Anybody who is backing them against Bayern Munich has not watched a single Bayern Munich match this season. I'm telling you that right now. I've watched at least now 15 Bayern Munich games this season, and I have not once, even when they went 1-0 down to my beloved Bayer Leverkusen, thought anything other than, this team is going to batter you. And they've done it time and time again. I think Lyon, especially in a semi-final and a one-off game, are going to set up really well to deal with this Bayern attack. I think Bayern Munich are going to feel a lot of pressure in this game. They just won 8-2. They're going to feel, and the press are going to be telling them, they have to win this next match by 12, 15 goals. I think it's going to be tight and cagey, but I think Bayern are going to win 3-0.
Yeah, and that sounds like a big scoreline, but this will be attack against defence for a lot of the game. Let's not kid ourselves on that one. And it's more the case of what Lyon did against Man City. I just don't see that working against Bayern Munich from an attacking point of view. Really
open as well at the back. City blew it. Lyon didn't win it. There were many chances.
The high line that Bayern Munich play, they can do it because they've got a quick back four. They've got so much pace at getting back up, recovering, and Müller is excellent at being the sweeper keeper. He reads the game really well from back.
Neuer.
Neuer, sorry, Müller. Neuer.
Thomas Müller, goalkeeper and attacking mid.
Manuel Neuer reads the game really well from back there, and he plays, and so they can do that, which is what Lyon had a lot of joy with against City. And I just don't see where Lyon get the goals, and eventually Bayern will break them down enough. They'll be relentless, and I'm going to be boring, but I'm going to copy your score. I think it's going to be 3-0 as well. German final for me.
Sure. Bayern Munich, in every game I've watched this season, if they're not playing their best, they go to game plan 2, which is strangle the opposition. And I can't look at any other game outside of the Bayer Leverkusen game, where Bayer Leverkusen turn up and they go, right, we're going to play our game, we control it, and we pass through you really quickly. And they did it for about 10 minutes. And after about 10 minutes, you saw Müller, Kimmich, and that start to look around and be like, this isn't working anymore. And they went into this game mode like they did against Barca, where they press really high up and they stop you. And the only way you're getting the ball from them is if your goalkeeper punts it so perfectly that the striker can run onto it. They mark players out of the game really effectively, and they have a guy playing center attacking midfielder Müller, who not only can pick out a pass, but has no problem running 12K for the team and constantly getting back to defend when he needs to. And
just out of interest, when did you get voted on to the president of the Thomas Müller fan club?
I'm actually vice president. No one's ever met the president, but I think he might run his own, if I'm being totally honest. It's a very well-run ship.
Tattoo, Ronaldo on the left shoulder, Müller on the right.
Müller on the right. And then Raheem Sterling across the chest.
About that. Maybe you got the Bruno Fernandes one in the works as well.
Well, that's on my ass.
Okay, I think that summed it up pretty well. Pretty much we're pretty cut and dry on it. We think Bayern will get there, but we're split on the first game. But as always, let us know what you think as well. Give us the comments down below. And as always, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Let's have some shout-outs, Thomas.
Right, gotta do this as quickly as possible because we're going way over, and Man United are about to play a semi-final. So apologies if I don't do this quickly. OUFC Paddy, can't see anyone being Bayern this season. TS7 Spider, PSG to go all the way. Both of you. I personally see that being the final. Ian doesn't see PSG in the final, but good call. Christopher Smith, thank you for your predictions. I think you got 2 right. You did get a perfect score though, well done. Nicholas Clark had PSG winning, well done. He had Leipzig losing, not so close. Barcelona, he had losing to Bayern by a close scoreline, and he had City beating Lyon, bad luck. We said Ter Stegen wasn't a really solid keeper, and Dream seems to disagree with us. I will point you to 8-2, and we can move on from there. Shane O'Donnell, every time you give our predictions, we love it. We love to know you're out there. We love to watch your videos when you do them. Thank you so much.
Did he get a correct score? Because he usually does.
He did not, but he did predict a PSG win and a Bayern win, but he also had City and Atletico to go through, I think, as did the entire world after they beat Liverpool. Big Dan had predictions. He had Atalanta winning, bad luck. He had Atletico winning, bad luck. He had Bayern winning, well done. And he had Lyon winning 2-1, so pretty close.
Done. Must be a Man United fan.
Robert Allen asked, will PSG choke again? And then said City to win. Bad luck on one of those. Well done on the other one. TS7 Spider, again, is then given his predictions. He had City to win, bad luck. He had Bayern to win, well done. He had Atletico to win, bad luck. And he had PSG to win, well done. Kurt gives his predictions. He had an Atalanta win, bad luck. I know I'm saying this a lot, but that's like Atletico to win, who also lost. And then he had Barca beating Bayern and City beating Lyon. So Kurt has gone 0 for 4, which is only, one worse than both of us.
Yes.
Alexandra Allen gives her predictions and describes Man City as the pride of Manchester. Tonight, you see why you're wrong. Piet Jansen had Barca Bayern 7-1 and City Lyon 2-1. I'm pretty sure he put those in after the fact. And then he went, Lyon scored 1 goal too many. But thank you, as always. It's a good job, good laugh. Lamarna Bot, my God, we had so many comments. This is nice. Bayern Munich never beat Barca at home. Lamarna Bot, you're nuts. Sorry, you're nuts. A lot of people, Skylar Peltz, Shahir, Payanathoth, Skylar Peltz, Lamar Nabah. There's been a huge, huge conversation about this. All we need to know is 8-2 was the scoreline, and that's really all that matters. That's everything. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for subscribing. I know that this isn't going out live, but I'm now going to go watch Man United batter the Seville and get into a European Cup final, something the blue side of Manchester couldn't do if they tried.